Okay. So this is being recorded tonight. I'm really excited to like give you guys these tips that I have, and I know that that Becky has some tips to give you guys too, which I know are going to be really good. But we want to talk about getting distributors because I know that when you join, your first goal is to get customers. So that's what you start off doing, and then once you get like into the messaging and like you start enrolling customers and everything and it feels so good and you're all pumped up about it, and then all of a sudden your enroller tells you, okay, now we're going to enroll distributors. And I know like for me personally, that was just kind of like a big like, I don't know, it just blew up in my face kind of. And I was like, wait, I have to do what? Because it just made me nervous because I just joined, you know, like, and I was like, I don't really know if that's something that I can do because it's nerve wracking because you're new into something, and then growing your team is going to require you to teach other people to do something that you just learned how to do, that you're just now learning how to do. And, it can be really nerve-wracking, but you guys, I promise it's not a big deal. It's not, because you're teaching them exactly what you've learned. So you already know this stuff, okay? Now you're just showing somebody else how to do it, and you're helping them make money, you guys. And when you start enrolling distributors on your team, that's when your paycheck starts to grow. And not only that, but that's when you start earning those weekly bonuses. Weekly bonuses are everything to me. Like, I love getting weekly bonuses. It feels so good. We get paid once a month on our commissions. So, you know, like we have to wait that whole month. But when you're enrolling distributors, for every single distributor that gets their first 6 customers in their first 30 days, you're going to get a $150 bonus. If you're enrolling just three distributors every single month, that's $450. Okay. And that's where a big chunk of your money can come from in this business. It doesn't just have to be commissions. Like when you start off and you're enrolling your customers and everything, that's going towards your commissions. But when you start enrolling distributors, it's not just going towards your commission. You're getting those bonuses on the side. So when they start enrolling when they get their first 6 customers, you get that $150 bonus, and then you're also getting paid a commission off of their sales also. Okay. So that's why it's so important to grow your team, you guys. And once you get your 6 customers and you're moving on to that next step of getting to the 400 box, getting to the 400 club, a big chunk of that can come from your new distributors. It doesn't just have to be customers, okay? Which you still want to be enrolling customers, but when you start enrolling distributors and you teach them how to enroll customers, just like you did, it just starts to grow up. So hold on one second. Okay, so like the biggest things that you can do to enroll distributors, I feel like this is where so many people just feel stuck, is because you feel like you don't know how to go about enrolling distributors, and you feel like it's so far out of reach because it just seems like such a big deal, okay, you guys? And I want you to just go ahead and get it in your brain that this is not a big deal. It's not hard, okay? Don't make it, you know, seem like a burden or seem scary to you, because we are still here for you guys. So we help you get your customers. Now we're going to help you get your distributors, and we're going to help you train those distributors, and we're going to help you work with those distributors, okay? Just like we work with you guys. So don't let that hold you back from enrolling distributors because you feel like you're not going to know how to train them, okay? We are going to help you with that. Now, the best way for you guys to get distributors is by simply working your business, okay? So posting about it, live posts are number 1. I feel like a lot of my potentials come from live posts, but you also have to understand you're not just going to get distributors just from posting or just from messaging, okay? It comes from both. You have to be posting and you have to be messaging about those things, about making extra money, and you have to be following up with the people. Just like you follow up with your potential customers, you've got to follow up with your potential distributors, okay? So I don't know if Brooke or Becky, if y'all want to share your tips first. I was just going to give some tips on live post, and then I was just going to go through messages that I send and messages that I'm using. So I don't know if you guys want to say anything first.
Yeah, I can share my tips. Really, hold on, guys. I'm on my phone because I don't have my computer at my mom's. And so I have to switch back and look at my notes. to remind myself because I'm totally out of it today. But everything you said, I just wanted to like high five you through the screen because it's so true. I feel like, first of all, I feel like everyone thinks that it's so intimidating to grow your team. And I can completely relate with that because when I first started this business, I was really good at enrolling customers. And I was like, well, no, I can do this. I can enroll customers. That's okay. Like I'm doing good with that. And I didn't enroll my first team member until my 3rd month in. But I remember when my enroller started talking to me about growing my team, and I was like, I don't think I can do that. Like I don't think I can convince somebody to do this with me because it took me so long to be convinced to join this business. And so I thought that I had to like convince people to join, and it really, like, you have to take that fear out of it because you're not convincing somebody to join, you're literally offering them an incredible opportunity. And you have to like realize that because like for me, I started this to change my life. So that's literally what we're doing is we're helping other people change their lives. So I think first and foremost, I just wanted to say, I know that it can feel really intimidating for, to even just to find people to talk to about the business, and then let alone having people join your team and not know how to train them and not know how to be a leader. I just want you guys to know that you're missing out on so much. First of all, so much out of this business. Second of all, so much from your paycheck by not growing your team and continuing to live in that fear. So don't feel nervous to start expanding and recruiting and growing your team because it's literally the beauty of this business, and it's really where you can see your paycheck grow, not only with the weekly bonuses, but also with commissions as well, because you're getting a chunk of your team's commissions too. And don't look at it like, oh, well, I'm just making money off of people, because you can't make money off of somebody in this business unless they're making money too. So Ivy, do not play with that. And so I think like one of my main tips that I wanted to talk about was just asking people. Okay. And I have like a couple, and I know Saber, you have some messages too that you wanted to share, but I wanted to share a message that I like to send to people, and I have to go back into my notes. So bear with me here, but I have a message saved in my notes that I like to send out specifically to people that maybe I see somebody on my newsfeed and I just think that like they would totally rock this business, and I keep like going back to their page and I keep watching their posts, and I'm just like, dang, I really just think, okay, hold on one second. What are you trying to do? No, we're not going outside. Sorry, guys. We're not going outside right now. Peppa Pig's failing me right now. She's getting bored. Actually, let me see if I can copy and paste it into the chat. I don't know if you can do that on phone. Sorry, guys. Normally I'm on my computer. Anyway, so this is a message that I like to send to people that maybe I have been like watching them, and I just think they'd be really good at it, but I know that we can all get really nervous to reach out to these kind of people, like people who would be like on our dream team basically, but we all have them in our newsfeed and on our social media. So I like to send them just a quick message, and I will say something like this. Okay, Sarah, I just had to reach out because I just feel like I would be, regretting it if I didn't. I always see your posts, and I just really think that you would be amazing at what I do with my business, working from home. I'm not sure if you've seen any of my posts about it or even know what I'm talking about, but have you ever thought about it and would want to make some extra money working from your phone? Again, sorry if this seems random. Let me see if I can send that in the chat. I don't know if you can do that on here. Oh, I think I can. Okay, so I just sent it in the chat. So I will say that don't be afraid of the initial reach out. I think this is where people like, they freak out and they're like, I can't reach out to people. I'm nervous about what people are going to say. Please don't be nervous, because you truly do not know what somebody is going to say unless you ask. And also, maybe they end up saying no. Like maybe they say no, or maybe they, don't say anything at all and they ignore your message. that's okay. You just have to learn to be okay with that. And sometimes that, even just you reaching out to them and maybe they say no or they didn't say anything back to you, that gets them to start looking at what you're doing. Okay, that's really important because now they're watching you and they could change their mind. Okay, but it's so important to constantly be reaching out to people and always be in other people's inboxes, because you want people to be looking at you first. You want them to be seeing your stuff first. You want them to have you in mind if they ever decide to do something like this. And they could have a change of heart, because I personally was somebody who had a change of heart and decided that I did want to try this when I initially told my friend no. Okay, so don't be intimidated by the initial reach out. You have to start somewhere, and don't be nervous about, not knowing what to say in your conversations and feeling like you're going to mess up, because again, like Sabra said, you are going to have all the help in the world to know what to say. And then that's where I was going to go into my next point. Sorry, I'm going back into my notes, but I don't know if any of you guys follow Ashley Mayfield, but I think it was yesterday or maybe even today, she went live on her Facebook and she was just talking about it's like a really simple thing to do, but she was talking about people giving you objections. Okay. And I think this is where a lot of fear comes from, because you're nervous to get into these conversations and then have people give you all of these objections. I don't have the time. I can't do it because I don't know enough people. I just don't think I'd be good at it. I don't have the money, like whatever objections. And I just want you guys to know that it's normal and you should expect those objections. Not every single conversation is going to be smooth. Not everyone is going to, want the information and then want to sign up right away. Okay. And I know that all those things, like all those objections, can again make you feel nervous, but it's all a part of the process. And Ashley was talking about, I don't know what you would call it, like a process of feel, felt, and found. Okay. And so it's like a 3-step thing that you need to be thinking about when you're having conversations with people. So like, for instance, she gave the example of when someone says that they don't have time. You first want to relate with them, because we can all relate. Literally almost every single one of us can relate with every single objection that is thrown at us. We've probably all felt those things. For myself, I literally felt every single one. Okay. I was so nervous to start this business oh my gosh, what are you chewing at now? Sorry, you guys. Mom life. I was so nervous to start this business for literally so many reasons. And I didn't even realize that I could use that to relate with people when I'm talking to my potential distributors. So feel, felt, and found. You first want to feel, you want to relate with them. I feel you, girl. And then felt, I felt the same way. I felt like I didn't have enough time to. And then found, I found that you don't need a lot of extra time. I found that you can fit this business into the nooks and crannies of your day. I found that, you prioritize what's important to you. You go through their objections. Okay. So you always first, you relate with what they're feeling. Same goes for literally any other objection. Like for me, I was nervous to start this because I was nervous about what other people would think about me. I was so scared. If somebody says that to me, I say, I feel you, girl, because I have social anxiety and I'm an introvert and I literally cared way too much about what people thought about me. And then you just go through each objection, because like I said, I guarantee you that we've all felt them. Okay. And so, it's just like a simple tool that you can really just think about when you're having conversations with people, because I think sometimes that can be the hardest part. Like we can listen to our leaders all day when it comes to like posting on our pages and posting in our stories and sending out messages. But then when it comes down to like the actual conversation, it is important what you say and how you say it, because that can really make or break it. So that was all the tips that I wanted to share, because I don't know, I just felt like those are sometimes things that get overlooked. I know you guys have like good tips for messaging and posting and stuff, so I didn't want to like overlook that. But I don't know if you guys have anything to share about that, but I just thought that was really cool. And if you guys wanted to watch Ashley Mayfield's live, she's kind of like all over the place, kind of like more so than Jade, but I really liked it. So
She is wired 24/7. Like, I remember the first video I ever watched of her, I was like, I'm not feeling it. You're too much for me. I cannot. And now, like, when I need to pick me up, she's my go-to. Like, I love her. And it's crazy because, like, she's so loud and, like, in your face. But the stuff she says, like, hits so hard. And you're like, holy crap. Like, she speaks like volumes, you guys. And something I want to add to that is that, you guys, like, when people have objections, I love when people have objections, honestly. Like, when they have certain things that, like if they, okay, so like if they tell me, like, I've got kids running all over the place and stuff, I just can't do this, I don't have time for it. I love that because that gives me an opportunity to, like, explain, like, I've got 2 kids. Like, I've got a newborn pretty much, and it feels like a newborn because, like, it's been so long since I had a baby, and then I've got an almost 8-year-old, and, like, life is crazy, but I'm still able to work this in the nooks and crannies of my day. So, like, you're able to, like, explain to them more in depth pretty much about how to work this business and, like, how it can work for everybody. And then also, like, whenever they say, like, I don't have the money or something like that, it gives you more of a feel like, it's not necessarily because they're not interested, it's because they don't have the money. Or, like, oh, they ignored my messages before, and it wasn't because they weren't interested, it was because they were scared, just like I was, just like so many other people are. And it kind of shows, like, they do want to do it, but there's something holding them back. So you just have to be able to eliminate whatever that is that's holding them back and make them feel at ease about it, because you don't have to work this business 24 hours a day. You don't have to do that. You can work it in pieces throughout your day, or you can set aside certain times for your day to do it. But I know that so many people just lay in bed at night on their phone. So, like, that's a perfect time to work your business. You know what I mean? So it's just, I love like having the conversations, because it's crazy how much I can relate to other people. And a lot of times it's crazy too, because it's people that I never thought would ever, like, give this a second thought. You know what I mean? Becky, do you want to go ahead and give yours? Because I have, like, all kinds of, like, random stuff. It's not in any specific order. And Brooke touched on some stuff, so now I don't have to go over that. So maybe you have some stuff too.
Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, you have to be posting and reaching out. You can't just be doing one or the other. And another way to get potentials besides just randomly messaging them is through host to post, which I've been doing. So that's another way to get people, get potential distributors. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that. There's different ways. So if you're not trying all the ways, you have to find, like, what works for you, because what works for me or what works for Sabra or what works for Brooke might not work for you, but you don't know unless you try. So you have to try all these things to figure out if it works for you, to find what works for you. One of the things I like to think about is what made me want to join. I think about, why did I want to join Brooke? Like, what made me want to do that? And if you think about that, that's how you're gonna be able to attract others. Like, what was it that drew you in? Was it their posts, seeing their posts all the time about freedom or more money, or what was the specific thing? And if you can come up with the things of why you joined your enroller, what they were posting about, what things attracted you to them, those are things you can post about if you can relate to them. And that's what you want to be doing. So you want to think about how you are attracted. That is the easiest way to implement how to get other people attracted to joining you. Also, when you're having these conversations with people, you want to go into it confident. Whether you don't feel confident or not, you want to come off as you're confident. This business changes lives, and you want to come off like you know that it is. Like Brooke was saying, it's an opportunity. It's a great opportunity. It's changed so many lives, and as long as you can express that, be excited in your conversations, they're going to feed off of your energy. So if you go into the conversation thinking like you're not going to sign this person or have a negative mindset towards it, they're going to pick up on that energy. If you don't believe in it, they're going to pick up on that. So you have to go into your conversations being confident. And if you're not sure about something or how to answer something, that's when you come to your enroller. I know I have a bunch of like objection lists, and I'm sure your enroller does too, that they can help you when you get these objections, because you may not know how. I don't know if she's going to go over some, but if you don't know how to answer it, that is what we are here for. And so let's see, what else did I have? Okay, so one of the biggest things that I took away is like when you're having these conversations, you don't want to jump into answering questions that aren't asked. So you don't want to just blurt off a bunch of information about how much we get paid and all this if they didn't ask it, because they're going to get overwhelmed, they're going to get confused, and whenever they're confused, they're just going to say no. So you don't want to give them too much information. There's some people that will ask a bunch of questions and then you give them all the information, but if they're not asking questions, then you just go straight into expecting them to sign, like sealing the deal, like, so are you in? Or a lot of times I'll be like, what questions do you have for me? Are you in? Or what questions do you have for me? And then that gives them the opportunity to either be like, yes, I'm in, or ask whatever questions they have. So that's an important thing, but mainly it's just you need to be posting, you need to be asking, because if you're posting about where you're going, people are going to want to join somebody that knows their goals and where they're going. So it's just over and over again. You might feel like you're telling your story over and over again, but guys, we should always be adding new people. So there's going to be new people seeing your post. And I don't know about you, but it took me a long time and a lot of seeing Brooke's post before I finally joined. So you have to be always posting. And then another thing I kind of want to say is don't put a timeline on it. I know a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, they get a hang of signing customers and then maybe they can't get a distributor. But if you put a timeline on it, like if I don't get a distributor within this amount of time, I just can't do it. That's not the case. There's so many people that are so high up in this company that took, I can't remember, it was one of the Zooms, I think it was Jocelyn Yates. I think she took, I don't know, it was like months and months. I think it was like 9 months or something. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it was a crazy amount of time that she took to sign her first distributor. And now she's like the top of the company. So you just can't put a timeline on it. It takes time, it takes consistency, and it takes following up. PDTs are not usually on the spot signups. They take a lot of consistency. So I think that's all that I had.
Yeah, and like she was saying, you're gonna feel repetitive, you guys. Like you're gonna feel like a broken record saying it over and over. But if you are, that's good. You want to be. Okay, that's how you know that you're working your business the right way, is when you start to feel like that. Like I remember I started to feel like that when I think it was in May. I was like so on top of my life post, but I was like trying to switch it up and change it up. And I was like, I just feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over. But you guys, like that's what you want to do. So like on your life post, some tips for life post, what you guys want to do is like talk about a current situation you're in. Like if you just joined this business and you joined because you need money, because you're struggling, talk about that. You have to get over yourself and put that pride away. Because if you do not talk about your struggles and be real with people, they're not going to feel like they trust you. You need to get to a point to where making a life post, like posting it just, when you go, I don't know about you guys, but I do this. I'm sure a lot of you do, because you got, proofread it and make sure it makes sense and everything. But when you're reading your life post back to you, it should almost make you cry. Like, there's sometimes when I talk about Sean being away from home and how badly I want him home, that when I read it back to myself, it makes me tear up. Because one, I hate the situation. It sucks when he's gone. But then two, like, this is something I'm working so hard for, and I'm believing in my heart that I'm going to make it happen. And that feels so good. Like she said about confidence, you have to be so confident in your business, even if you just started and you like are just kind of like, hey, I'm here, like I want to make some extra money. You have to like shift your mind into believing that whatever it is that you want from this business, whatever it is that made you join, that you're going to change that situation, because you can with this business. You 100% can. You just have to apply yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the company. And you guys, like, I feel like, I know sometimes it's hard to be passionate and, like so pumped up about something that's so new to you. But trust me when I say this business can completely change your life. It can take you to places that you didn't think you could be because of your background or your current situation or your experience or anything like that. I had zero experience in this, you guys. Some people, like I had this one girl, I talk about how I used to work for Kirby, and working for Kirby, I was canvassing. I was not a salesman at all, okay? So that's why I always say, like, I still didn't have any experience. I was given a script, pretty much, kind of like our opening messages that we send to people, but it was something, it was my pitch, okay? So it was the same thing I said at every single house. I walked up and I complimented something in their yard or their vehicles or something like that. It was just very personal. And then I just like gave them my pitch about, hey, like, we've got these really awesome vacuums, can we vacuum your carpet? And like I got to where like my leaders had pumped me up so much, telling me all these bonuses that I was gonna make and like all this stuff, and that like it's so easy to switch someone's mind into thinking like a different way when you lead the conversation. Like, so like when I was pitching it to them, I would give them my pitch, and then before even giving them a chance to reject me, I would immediately ask them, what room in your house gets the most traffic? And then they would answer me just because I asked them a question. Okay. And that's kind of like the same thing in our messages that I'm going to get into, but in your live post. So, what do you want? And what do you want to change? So real quick, I want you guys to, if you don't have a pen and paper next to you or something, then in your phone, real quick, go to your notes. And I want you to really think about what it was that made you join. What was it that made you decide, I'm going to do this? I'm going to pay $99. Maybe you didn't have it, or maybe you did, but I'm going to pay this money to join this because this is going to change my life. It's going to change my situation. What situation was it in your mind that you wanted to change? What is it that you wanted different? So when I joined, I had hit rock bottom. I had no jobs. I had no vehicle. And before that, I was working 3 jobs, and I always missed out on everything with my daughter. But then I sold everything. I picked up and I moved away to my mom's. I had no vehicle. I had no jobs. I had to figure something out. Okay. I was a 23-year-old with a 2-year-old, or a 22-year-old with a 2-year. I don't remember. I was not in a good place. Okay. And I was living with my mom, and I was like, this has to change. Like, I have to figure out something. And this is my situation right now. My situation is that I don't have a car and I don't have a job, but I need money so I can get back on my feet. Okay. And this was going to allow me to do that from my phone at home with no vehicle. Okay. So my why was I needed money to save up for a car. At the time, that was my why. When I was first approached with the business, my why was that we need extra money for bills, because we are drowning, and we can't keep living like this, just constantly paying our bills late and barely getting by without the lights getting shut off, or our landlord is already like on the verge of kicking us out because we always pay rent late. That was my why when I was approached with it. But then my why completely changed when I hit rock bottom. Okay. And if the girl who enrolled me hadn't reached out to me again when I was at rock bottom, even though 3 months before that I was working 3 jobs, and even though we needed the money, I was like, no, that's not for me. I hit rock bottom and I said, I'm going to make this for me. I have to try. I have to figure out something. And if this is going to help me get there, I'm going to give it a shot. Okay, so figure out what your why is and write it down. Okay, then what I want you to do is I want you to talk about what this business is going to do. So if your why, my why was I need extra money for a vehicle. Like I need to bring in some kind of income so that way I can make money and save up for a vehicle. So what is this business going to do for me? This business is going to help me make extra money while I do not have a vehicle because I can work it from my phone at home. And this is going to help me save up for that car. Okay. And then at the end of your post, so you want to put, I had a completely different paper with it too. So you want to put down, you're going to write down why you joined. So you want to talk about why you joined or talk about a current situation. One of my favorite kind of life posts to make is to talk about a memory, especially when my memories pop up on my Facebook and I know what kind of circumstances I was in at that time in my life. Like there is one that pops up every single year of Elena in her car seat. And I remember we were broke down on the side of the road. I ran out of gas. I didn't have enough gas to go wherever it was we were going and get back home. And I knew that, but I still went. And we broke down on the side of the road in the middle of summer in the Texas heat. And my car was just dead. I had no money. I had no bag. Sorry, you guys. I had no money. And this lady just randomly stopped and, asked me, I was trying to call anybody and everybody, and I didn't have a lot of people to count on back then, but I was trying to find a way out. And I remember I prayed to God. I was just like, something's got to give. Like, I can't live like this. My daughter does not deserve this life. She deserves a better life than this. And that was my why, you guys, with her. And it's always been my kids, always. But there's specific things that happened in your life or that you're struggling with that you want to change. That's what you want to talk about, because there's other people who want that exact same thing. There's other people struggling with bills. There's other people that break down on the side of the road because they ran out of gas, because they didn't have money to put in their tank. Okay, those things like Becky was talking about, being relatable, that you guys, that is what brings people in. That's what draws people to me. Anytime anybody ever reaches out to me from one of my posts or about the business or anything, it's because they were able to relate to a struggle that I was experiencing. People do not relate to your success. People do not relate to your goals. Okay, people relate to your struggles. You have to be real, and you have to get rid of that pride that's holding you back from posting something that's so hard for you to talk about, but is going to really, really, really help your business. Okay, so and then you want to write down so you want to write down your why, what it was, that the reason that you joined, and then write down what this business is going to do, where it's going to take you. So maybe it was keeping the bills caught up, or maybe saving up, or paying for your wedding because y'all are already living paycheck to paycheck and you need extra money for the wedding. Or maybe it's so you can quit your job and you can be home with your babies. Or maybe you don't have babies but you don't want to work a 9-to-5 anymore, or you and your spouse have completely different schedules and you never get to see each other. Whatever your situation is, talk about that. You have to stop being scared to put yourself out there. Because the moment you put yourself out there is the moment you will see a complete shift in your business, you guys. Trust me on that. So then the other biggest thing that you can do besides your life post is ask, you guys, because you do not know until you ask. I can't tell you how many freaking people that I have been like, God, they would kill it on my team. I feel like they'd be so good because their posts are so good already. Just incorporating this would just be so good, but there's no way that they want to do this. There's just no way. As if I'm ashamed of what I'm doing. But the thing is we all do that. We all do that because it's something in it's fear. I can't remember. I wish I had a photographic memory, because I have the worst memory, but I wish I could explain to you guys exactly how it was. But I remember watching a motivational video, and they were talking about how our brain makes us fear things pretty much to protect us. Okay, it's a defense mechanism pretty much. So when you think about doing something that feels real far and out of reach, your brain is automatically going to give you a fear or some kind of doubtful thought, because you already thought it's so far out of reach. You get what I'm saying? Or you already doubted yourself before that thought really even came into your head, because it seems like such a big thing. I suck at explaining it, but the video was way better. I'm gonna try and find it because it was amazing. I want to say it was who's that girl, you guys, that God, she talks about the 5-second rule. Like when you think about something, count to 5 and just do it. Yes, that one. It was her. She was the one talking about it, about how our brain tricks us into thinking like that we're scared of certain things because of a self-doubt that we already had, that we were actually like not born with, but we were raised a certain way, so certain things give us certain feelings. So like for one person, money may be a good feeling, but then for another person, money is a bad feeling. So the person with a good feeling towards money is gonna have more success and be better at managing their money and everything than a person who has always thought negatively of money because they always struggled. That's all they knew. So they think money is bad. Like, I don't know how to explain. I suck at explaining. But anyways, you guys, you never know until you ask someone. I've had multiple people that I asked, and then they were like, you know what? I actually have been thinking about it. But they never liked my post. They never commented on my post. They never asked me about it. So I had no idea that they were thinking about it. But I asked, and they were like, yeah, I actually have. And a lot of times I've been like, what? Like, what, really? Like you really are, like, seriously? And then it's so amazing when you go into that conversation, like, you guys, like when Roxanne joined, she was a customer. I want to say she was a customer for like a month. And I just randomly, I think I was pushing for a huge promotion. So I was going through and I was messaging all of my little customers and I was asking them like, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? And I was messaging a bunch of people, and it was just like a shift in the universe brought Roxanne to me. And she was just like, I've always thought about doing what you do, but I don't think I'd be good at it because I'm lazy. And I was like, what? Like, well, it's actually really simple. Like, it's not that hard. And I explained everything to her, talked to her about it. And she was just like, yeah, let's do it. And boom, signed up as a distributor. And this girl shows up every single freaking day. She is messaging me every single day, asking for help for her conversations. She is pushing so hard because she does not want to be at her current job. It is stressing her out. She was laid off from COVID and everything, and now just went back to work. And now her goal is to push for Diamond because she wants to quit her job. And you guys, I never thought she would even be interested. It never even really crossed my mind to even ask her because I just didn't think it was something that she'd be interested in. And I don't know why I thought that because I barely even knew her. You guys. So you have to ask. And then anytime, another opportunity for you to ask besides just straight out messaging people is when people tell you no, that like they can't afford the products. That is an open door for you to ask them, have you ever thought about doing what I do to make some extra money? Even if it's just to pay for your products, like, I actually think you'd really enjoy this. I always say that. I actually think you'd really enjoy this because you can't necessarily say to every single person, I think you'd be really good at this, especially if it's somebody that never posts on their Facebook. You can't say that off the bat because you don't even know them. You know what I mean? But you could say, I think you really enjoy this, because who doesn't enjoy a group of uplifting women to be friends with? Like, who seriously has friends anymore? I swear, you guys, I don't have friends. Y'all are my friends. I don't really like hang out with anybody or anything like that. But like, and then the fact that you're able to do it from your phone is just, to me, it's still, honestly, you guys, it still blows my mind every time we see preliminary commissions. I'm like, from my phone. This was from my phone. And I love that. You guys. And there's so many people that don't even know that this is a thing. I didn't know it was a thing. I remember searching on Google for stay-at-home jobs, and it was like, some of them was like, you have to take these surveys or you have to sign up for these like trials, and then you have to remember what day the trial's up so you can go back and you can cancel that trial so you don't get charged. I was getting charged for like a year for stamps.com from that stupid thing because I kept forgetting to cancel it. I couldn't even figure out how to get back to it to cancel it. But this is something that a lot of people do want. They just don't know that it's out there. They don't know that yet. And that's our job, is to just tell them about it. Like, you're not pushing anybody to do anything. You're just explaining what it is. And a lot of times whenever you do that and you bring that up to them, they're like, holy crap, like, really? Like, yeah, that sounds awesome. So, just ask. You never know. Anytime that you get negative people when you ask them and they're like, oh no, definitely not, or say anything negative, move on. Don't even try to take the conversation in a different direction or anything, because you're wasting your time. I feel like so I know some people like to overcome those negative thoughts and feelings that people already have about the business because of, it didn't work for so and so. But a lot of times I don't want to like argue with anybody, so I'm just gonna let you keep watching me, and maybe eventually you'll come around and you'll want to know what it's really about. So any kind of negative people, honestly, I would just move on unless they say something specific, like I do want to try, but I heard this, and you're not sure how to respond to it. Ask your enroller, because we have overcome a ton of objections, and we've probably had every like negative thing or objection or whatever asked to us or said to us in our conversations, that we know how to go about eliminating that objection. So then okay, so now make sure you guys pull up the chat, because I'm going to share some of my messages with you guys, and these are ones that I pulled out that work really good for me. And make sure that you edit these, because some of these are these are all fit specifically for me. So like some of them say like I personally lost 60 pounds using these products, you obviously wouldn't want to say that, because if you didn't lose 60, if you did, then congratulations, and you can totally use that. But so I have 3 different ones that I send out, and these are messages. So when I sit down to work my business, or let's say I get on a power hour or something, and it's the beginning of the month and I'm pushing for distributors, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to send out these messages. When I'm messaging for PDTs, I do not just click on their name and message them. I do go look at their page. That is so important, you guys. You have to know who you're messaging, because there may be someone who posts super negative or, unattractive, inappropriate things on their Facebook, and then all of a sudden they're on your team, and you're like, oh crap, like, how do we change this? It's just awkward. So I'm specific about the people that I ask to join my team. When someone does want to join my team, though, and I don't really like their vibe, I'm not going to deny them, of course. And it's crazy the amount of people who will change certain things that they post about and talk about or whatever, to help them work their business. So you just have to explain it to them. So, okay, so I have different ones that I use. So this one is someone who gets a lot of likes, has a lot of followers, has a lot of friends on Facebook or whatever. This is what I'm sending them. And it's being straightforward, and I'm also giving them a compliment. Okay, so hey, I just randomly came across your page. You're so pretty, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it in my post, but you'd actually be really good at what I do. And this is a lot like the one that Brooke shared at the beginning too. I think you'd be really good at what I do. You already have the platform for it. You post like I do, only I get paid for it. Can I tell you more about what I do and see if this might be something you'd be interested in doing? And I'm pointing out, like, sometimes people who have a lot of followers and get a lot of likes and stuff on their pictures and everything, they don't know what platform is. And sometimes I'll have people that'll ask me, like, what do you mean I have a good platform? And then I explain to them, like, I work my business through social media, which means, like, I engage a lot on social media. You're already doing that. You already have that going for you. So that's something, you know what I mean? Like, that's good. So then I have this one. I relate to moms. Okay. So this is one that I send out a lot when, it'll let me copy it. This is one that I send out a lot, and you want to, like I said, be mindful of who you're messaging and what you're messaging, because the more personal your message is, the more likely they're going to be to respond to you. And sometimes they may not respond to you, but they're going to go check out your page, you guys. So that's why you want to make sure that you're posting something. When they do go look at your page, you've got stuff to back it up right there. So this one just says, hey, I just randomly came across your page, or maybe you have been interacting with that person for a while. Then I'll say, I've been seeing your post for a while. Your little ones are so cute, by the way. And of course, change that. If they only have one little one, then change it to your little one. Or sometimes I'll be like, I'll say, your little girl is so cute, or your little boy is, he's so active, or someone, you know what I mean? Like, go look at their post and get a feel for them, so that way you can make each message a little more personal. These are not messages you want to just copy and paste and send. You do want to be personal with these. I don't know if you've seen any of my posts, but you'd actually be really good at what I do. I used to work 3 jobs and I was rarely home. You post like I do, only I get paid for it. Can I tell you more about what I do? Blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. I just switched it up a little and I put in there how I used to work 3 jobs and I was rarely home. Okay, if that wasn't your situation, then talk about what your situation was that had to do with your kids, that, you know, that you didn't like, that made you join this business. Or I was struggling paycheck to paycheck, raising my 2 kids, or, you know, whatever it is. And then this one is something that I just send to like people who people who do get likes and stuff, but it not like a mom or someone with like a really big following. So, and I actually get really good responses from this one. And these are normally the ones that I send to college students. Hey, I've seen your post before, but never really checked out your profile till now. I was creeping, LOL. I don't know if you've seen any of my posts, but you'd actually be really good. It's literally like the same exact thing again, you guys. Okay, so those are the 3 messages that I send out whenever I'm messaging people. So if they say, hey girl, thanks so much, I'm just really not interested, no problem. They're still going to go check out your page. Don't, you know, just brush them off or anything like that. Ask them to throw up a host a post for you and make it a PDT host a post, because you guys, when they see other people, like if it's on Facebook and they see other people commenting, they're like, it's kind of like everybody wants what everyone else has. You get what I'm saying? Or like what everybody else is doing, a lot of other people do what other people are doing. It's like a trending thing. So like if they see a bunch of their friends commenting on it and, you know, they're interested, they might be a little more interested. I've had that where people have said like, no, I'm just really not interested. It's not really my thing. I have a lot on my plate or whatever. And then I ask them to do a host a post for me and they put it up and then their friends comment on it. And then they're like, what exactly is it that you do though? And then all of a sudden the conversation gets started. So whenever they say that they're not interested, I just say, no problem. Would you be willing to help me out and copy and paste something I send you on your wall, and in return I can enter you into my giveaway. And and then you can also even give them a product post, host a post to put up, because maybe they don't know about any of your products yet. After they say, sure, tell me more, I say, I'm pretty much just asking them, are you familiar with network marketing? But I'm adding my own thing to the beginning of it. So mine says, so I've been working from my phone for almost 5 years, at first to help with bills, and now I do it full time. Are you familiar with network marketing? So maybe your situation is, you know, like, I'm looking for something, I was looking for something to bring in an extra income without having to pick up another job, and this has been a good fit for me, or something like that. Whatever it is, you just got to make these your own, you guys. So then after I ask them, are you familiar with network marketing, whether they say yes or no, I always send this, and it's pretty much just explaining what we do. Now everybody has their own version of this, but it's pretty much all the same. Some people's are different, but make sure that you edit this, because I'm giving you guys the exact messages that I use. And I've pretty much been using these messages and going through my conversations like this since I joined. Well, since I started like really enrolling distributors, and it's always worked for me. So then the end of it says, have you ever heard of It Works? And then even if they say, yes, I have heard about it, I still send them this, because they may have heard something, but it wasn't the right information, or they may have like a completely different idea of what it is. Like some people think that we still just have wraps, and they have no idea about the other stuff that we have. So then I'm sending this one. Yeah, that's the right one. Yeah, so I'm just explaining. It's a oh, that was my notes right there at the very beginning. Sorry, guys. It starts where this is a health and wellness company. So I don't ask them to tell me like, what do you think about it or anything like that. I'm confident. I'm going, like Becky was talking about, I'm going into the conversation. I'm being confident about, I know what this business is about and I know what this business can do. So now let me tell you. So when you're confident going into that part and you're saying just straight up, this is a health and wellness company. We have everything from weight loss products like fat fighters, carb control, blah, 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 blah. All that. And then I talk about my personal experience. So even if you haven't lost any weight with it or anything, let's say maybe you drink the coffee every day and it helps you chase your kids around, just put that in there. That's good enough for me. Like I'd be like, oh, okay, so she uses the products. And then I just put, so I share my personal results and my customers to find people who have similar goals and help them get the right products for their lifestyle and goals. Easy, right? And I'm ending it with a question, so that way they're more likely to answer. Now, after that, if they just say yes, then depending on how the conversation has gone, if I feel like the conversation is going in the right way and they're giving me more than just one word answers, if they're giving me more than just one word answers and they do seem genuinely interested and they want to know more, I'll say, do you mind if I add you to a private page? I'm sure you have tons of questions. I know I have that message in here. Do you mind if I add you to a private page? I'm sure you have tons of questions, and there's a video in there that I really like. I didn't put it up here. There's a video in there I'd really like for you to check out, can answer all of them. And then I add them to the VIP page, the VIP lounge, and then I'm tagging them in a video on there. But like Becky was saying, don't answer questions that aren't asked, okay? So if they don't ask how we make money, don't mention it just yet. Let them ask it first, because you could end up giving them too much information. If they do ask you, how do we make money? This is what I send. And I'm ending this one with a question to you guys. So we make money a few different ways. We make 15% commission off sales. And this is actually, I've been using this for a while. I do need to update these and like change them up a little. And then sometimes you will have people who want to see your compensation plan. It's very, very, very rare. But if they do, I just send it to them and I'm like, this is it. And I always say, my leader, Brooke, is a presidential diamond, and she actually works with me one-on-one to help me grow my business. So it's not just, you know, some people say like it's the first ones that get into it or whatever, and then they make a lot of money, but nobody else does. Like even people making a lot of money in the company are helping all of us to make extra money. If they ask me how much it costs, this is what I'm sending. I know it's almost 9. I'm sorry, you guys, but I really want to share all these messages with you because they help me so much. Like, and these are messages that I've gotten like over the years and changed to like fit me a little more, that I've gotten from Jade, you guys. And then if someone wants to join, like they're saying, yeah, I want to do it, I just don't have the money for it. Pre-sale samples, you guys. So I'm sending them this, and it'll send. Explaining, you know, you get these samples whenever you start, blah, blah, blah. You can pre-sell them, da, da, da. And then it says, want to check it out? If they say yes, then then I'm saying, okay, awesome. And I'm sending them this link, which I will send to you guys, and you can just copy and paste it into your notes. This is the pre-sale Zoom. Oh no, one of the pre-sale Zooms. And then that video is like, I think it's like right at 30 minutes. So I'm setting an alarm in my phone for like 35 minutes, or telling Siri, hey, remind me to message Becky in 30 minutes. And then I'm just asking them, hey, did you get a chance to check out that video? We can get started right now, and I can help you pre-sell those so we can get you started. And then I normally after that, I say, so we can get you started and I can help you start making extra money to save up for your wedding, or, you know, to help you guys with bills, or whatever it was that they told me, you know, like, yeah, this is why I want to do it. And then this is a really good message that I use when people tell me that they're nervous about it. And this is just me relating to them. So you can take this and copy and paste it into your notes, but then edit it to make it fit you, okay? And then I'm just gonna go ahead and send all of these as one for you guys. These are follow-ups that I use. If you are not following up with your PDTs, you guys, like, it's not gonna go anywhere. Like you're not gonna end up signing up distributors, because just like with customers, you have to follow up with them. They're not always gonna sign up right off the bat. And one thing that I love about these is that I'm like trying to figure out what exactly it is that's holding them back, and figuring out, like, are you really interested or are you not really that interested, you know? So like I'm not wasting my time. And then Some of them are really short and simple. Okay, I'm just curious what's stopping you. You know what I mean? Like, or hey, out of curiosity, if you could join my if you could join for free, would you be all in making money with me and joining my team? Like, that is probably like the main one that I follow up with people on. And if they don't respond to me, then I send some of these. But I use that one a lot because a lot of times money is the issue, and we've found a way around that, you guys, even if they don't have the money. So those are some messages. So now you guys I've given you all of the messages that I use, and I enroll distributors. Okay, Becky enrolls distributors, Brooke enrolls distributors, and we are giving you guys all of the information, or all of the stuff. Callie, we've given y'all all the tips, all the messages, and everything that you possibly need to enroll distributors. So there's absolutely no excuse that you can't go do it. You have to put fear out of your head, though. You have to get rid of that pride that's holding you back from making those relatable and real posts, and you have to get that fear out of your head from messaging. Think about it, you guys. The way I think about it when I'm messaging people, sometimes I'm just so nervous to message people for some reason. I'm like, I just really don't want to message people. Like, I don't want to bug people or anything like that. You have to think about it this way. Someone is waiting for you to message them. I didn't know it, but I was waiting for this girl that enrolled me to message me. I was waiting for that opportunity. I just didn't know it was out there. You have to understand, you have your hands on something so amazing that a lot of people don't know about yet. And I know it seems like a lot of people do, but that's just because you do, okay? Not everybody does. I still have so many people who tell me they've never heard of It Works, ever. And that is just insane to me, but it's a real thing, you guys. You have to put that fear aside and just go all in. Go all in and send these messages. Give it a shot, okay? If your conversation starts to stray a little away from the messages that I sent you guys, screenshot and send to your enroller, just like you did with your customers, okay? And just do it, and you'll be so amazed. And it is such a good feeling when you help other people make money, especially when they come to you and they get that first check and they're like, holy crap, like, this is real. Like, this is real money. I really did this, like, from my phone. And when they tell me, like, this is going to go towards my daughter's birthday party, or this is going to put new tires on my car, that feels so good. And I was so scared to message them. And now I'm getting such a rewarding feeling for stepping out of my comfort zone and just doing the dang thing, you guys. It's amazing. Don't look at this as intimidating or scary or anything, because it's not, okay? You are a business owner. Be confident, and be confident about the company that you're with, because you are with the right company at the right time. So anyways, I'm going to jump off here. Jade has her host post training tonight. Is she still doing that, Brooke, this month? All of those? I know she changed the thing.
I'm not sure. I'll have to double check on that. But I did want to add one thing before we get off of here, and it goes back to the mindset thing that you were talking about. Like, your mind will literally believe anything that you tell it to believe.
Mm-hmm.
It's so stinking true. And it's just I just relate it back to the $99 joining fee, because we've had so many like signing deals, like, you know, like $69 kits, $20 kits, $50 kits, like whatever. And then people think that if we don't have a sign up deal that they can't enroll distributors, and that's not freaking true. I built a Presidential Diamond with it not having any sign up deals besides maybe like BOGO wraps in the kit. Like, it was always $99 to join. People have the money to join this business. If they truly want to change their lives, they will pay $99, and I will pay it over and over and over again if I knew then what I know now. So don't think for a minute that you can't enroll distributors because we don't have a DT sign up deal, because it's just simply not true. We still need to be loud and proud about this opportunity. Of course, when I'm talking, she gets crazy. We still need to be loud and proud about this opportunity. $99 to completely change your life is a steal. It's a steal. $99 is a steal compared to what this business can offer to you. And so don't be nervous to share that. Don't be nervous to talk to people because we don't have a sign-on deal, because people are still going to join this business for $99. And so what? Maybe somebody, like, they're aware of the half off deal that we normally have, you know, every once in a while. Maybe they do want to wait for that, and that's okay. You're still growing your list. So don't don't let that stop you from growing your team and from recruiting new people into this business, because people will pay the $99. You just have to shift your mindset into believing that. That's just what I wanted to add.
Yes, and like,
But I'm not sure about the host to coast thing. I'm sorry.
that's okay. I'm just gonna jump on and see if anybody's on. But like she said, like if she knew what she knows now, she paid over and over. People don't know, you guys. You have to show them. And by doing that, like, show your office view. That's a live post. What's your office view? Becky posted a really good one. She was at the pool with her kids. Like, I want to work at the pool with my kids. Like, I don't know about you guys, but that sounds cool. Like, I'd rather do that than serve tables. I'd rather do that than sit behind a desk. You have to show people, okay? Show people where you're working right now. Even if it's just laying on the couch and it's just a picture of your feet up on a pillow and the TV. That looks like an amazing office view to me. I'd work there any day. Show people what it's doing for you, okay? Show people, like, you know, Jade talks about how, like, posting, like, even the simplest little things, like some antibacterial wipes that she wasn't able to buy before because she didn't have the extra money for that. And now she has the extra money just for that. And that feels damn good. Okay. People are going to relate to that. Like, there's times where I was like, we can't afford paper towels. Okay. So we're just going to use regular towels because we can't afford paper towels. So even talking about being able to afford paper towels was like a big deal for me when I first started. And like now, like, a post about, you know, buying formula and stuff, which is not freaking cheap. Show people, just show, like, that's really all you have to do is just show people.
People, I want to say people don't know the value that this has unless we tell them. See, they don't go into this knowing what they're going to get out of this. That is our job, to show them the value that they will get out of this. And that is what is going to end up helping them sign. If they see the value in this, that $99 is going to seem like nothing if we can show them the value and what they can get out of this. So that is very important. It's just making them see their vision and see the value for themselves. And also, if you guys are on these trainings, that's awesome. But if you're watching and you're not implementing it, it's not going to help you any. So make sure you take in what we're saying. And if you have to watch it again and take notes again, sometimes you have to hear it over and over again before it actually sets in. But we're telling you these things so that you actually implement them and do them. That's what's going to change your business and get you to where you need to go. That was the last thing that I wanted to add. I'm so glad you guys all got on here, and I just feel like I want you guys to know that, like, if you have to just go into it believing that you can sign distributors, because you can. If you've signed one, you know how to do it. You can sign. You can be a master enroller. You can sign many of them. So I want us all to go out there and just kill it with signing distributors. And everybody have a good night. I don't know if Saber wanted to add anything else, but if not, have a good night, guys.
All right, guys.